Hello, and welcome to my discussion on what is water. Water is the most powerful force in the universe. It is the most aggressive of all chemicals. The World Bank has a basic description of water that designates water as a liquid that can be colorless, transparent, and odorless. It forms the seas, lakes, rivers, and rain. It is the basis of fluids of all living organisms. Water is essential to life as we know it. The quality of a given body of water is based upon a comparison against standardized water as measured against a similar kind of water. 1 cup to 1 cup. We're measuring them. We're looking at them. The measure of drinking water quality is the degree of the aesthetic excellence of clarity and the degree of its purity. Why do we care what the World Bank says? Well, because the money makes the world go round. I've spent 20 years researching water in every way, shape, and form that I could, and I have researched the water is a much larger thing than the mere liquid we use and look at every day. My studies are in the geography of water, women's studies, cultural studies, criminal justice, human and environmental geography, and in short, I became a water witch. I dowse, looking for water underground, and I enter and profile communities looking for evidence of contaminants. A water operator is what I became. It's a special kind of scientist that looks at what is in the water that we are going to drink. And how is the water that we are dealing with getting into our homes? People walk up to their kitchen sink and they turn on the water and there is water. And it never crosses their mind that the water came from somewhere, usually coming from deep in the ground or from a large river. My water operator training is up to a level 2, whereas I measured and took slightly more advanced tests for biologicals and contaminants. I learned line size and the physics of water inside those lines. I learned the application of water line size for fire protection. I was trained to recognize the difference between solution of problems and the solution in water that needed a new water source and those problems. Many small water sources are not chlorinated and are not maintained in rural communities. And that is who I am addressing. I am not looking to address large water systems. I am not looking to address municipalities. But everything I'm going to say from this point forward does apply when it comes to what is in your water and how to look about testing it. The first sentence my first instructor in a water class ever said to me was, water was the most powerful force in the universe, and it is the most aggressive of all chemicals. It dissolves mountains, it creates rivers, it creates basins, it creates the planet as we see it. When you step back and look at our planet, you are looking at how water has flowed on the surface of the planet. When people complain that their water is hard, the question is that bad? When we pull everything out of water to make it super pure, we have created a dangerous substance. It is the same substance that government labs use or computer chip manufacturers use in order to cut computer chips or to do scientific tests. Water is a very hungry substance and it wants something to dissolve. Water can dissolve things and you will never see what it has attacked. Water can tear down a mountain, travel through comets in space. It can boil a chicken in a pot. It can wash tears from a face. It cleans your laundry. It can eat through galvanized steel pipes, and on and on and on. So let's take a look at water. You can't see in water what can be dangerous. Examples when water is dangerous can be with pesticides like TCP123, total hardness to the extreme, iron, copper, including heavy metals like uranium. Nitrate or nitrite. Total coliform bacteria may indicate that the water may have been contaminated by sewage or similar wastes. Diseases which could be present when water has tested positive for coliform bacteria is typhoid, cholera, hepatitis, dysentery, giardia, cryptosporidium, and methane with different types of benzene. In sunlight, you can see it with a rainbow sheen on the surface of water. But when it's in a glass or it's in your faucet, you don't see it. When you're looking at water and it's in a glass and it's clear, you really have no idea what you're looking at. But while I stir this water, look at it. It dissolves that white dry powder to become a solution. The water aggressively absorbs it. Often you can't see what is at the microscopic level. For instance, calcium white crust that you see on your faucet, it's fine in small amounts. Too much of it is aesthetically displeasing and can cause medical issues. A Brita or a pure water filter can alleviate the issue. Things you can see and smell when your water has it is turbidity. That's when the surface water that has been influenced by the color of the leaves, like a tea, that most often occurs in the fall. Turbidity is something you see. Iron bacteria. If you fill a glass with cold water, allow the discoloration to settle to the bottom. If there is sediment that has a feathery appearance, iron bacteria is present. If the sediment is a rusty powder, iron bacteria is not present. Hydrogen sulfide. Turn on the cold water, let it run for a minute and smell. Turn off the cold water. Turn on the hot water. Let it run for 1 minute and smell the water. If there's a rotten egg smell and is present in both, hydrogen sulfide is present in your water. If you detect it only with the hot water, then that smell is from your water heater. Chlorine and trihalomethane, which come from chlorination, and TCB residual, in other words, total coliform bacteria, that has died in the water from the effect of the chlorine. It has a residual scent, sort of similar to chlorine, but rotten chlorine.